Have you ever felt like your entire world crumbled, leaving you raw, exposed, and completely transformed? That's the dark night of the soul, a spiritual crisis that strips you to your core. But what happens after? Today, the 8th house is diving into the 8 stages you go through as you rebuild yourself into someone stronger, wiser, and more connected to your truth. Stick around, because this journey is as powerful as the darkness itself. Let's begin. After enduring the profound spiritual crisis known as the dark night of the soul, you are no longer the person who once moved through life with a familiar sense of self. You've been stripped bare, dismantled at your core, until only the raw truth of your existence remains. This journey is not about enlightenment in the romantic sense. It's about descent, about being broken open so completely that every illusion, every defense, and every false narrative you once relied upon is incinerated in the fires of transformation. But what follows is not a glorious ascension. It is a painstaking reconstruction. Every fragmented piece of your being must be examined, understood, and reassembled with fierce intention. These are the 8 transformative stages you pass through after the dark night, a journey just as essential as the fall itself. Stage 1, the mirror shatters. You emerge to face the wreckage of your former self. The mirror doesn't lie, but the reflection is unrecognizable. The eyes staring back at you are hollow, haunted by a version of you that no longer exists. Yet deep within them, a flicker of determination stirs. This is your breaking point and your awakening. You whisper a truth that feels like a roar. Enough. The spell of the past begins to dissolve. Quietly, you gather the fragments of your soul, not with desperation, but with deliberate resolve. No longer will you live in exile from yourself. You begin to step forward, not fully healed, but unafraid to be seen. It's not easy, but it's the first step out of the darkness. Have you had a moment where you decided to change? Share below. Stage 2, baptism by fire. This is no gentle resurrection, it is a crucible. You rise not as a serene soul, but as a phoenix ignited by rage, grief, longing, and love. The heat burns away what no longer serves you. Vices, escapism, self-sabotage. You discipline your body with meditation and journaling. You nourish your soul with self-love. You show up for yourself when every cell screams for comfort. This is sacred warfare, and you are both the battleground and the warrior. You're not just surviving, you're becoming someone new. Stage 3, the desert of dissatisfaction. Everything you once craved now feels hollow. Relationships seem shallow, ambitions trivial. You drink from wells that no longer quench your thirst, but here in the void a deeper truth emerges. Fulfillment cannot be chased, it must be cultivated. You stop asking, what can I get? And begin asking, what can I give? Start small. Help a friend, volunteer, create. That's where meaning begins. You discover that meaning comes not from the external, but from becoming a conduit for light among those creating a darkened world. What's one thing you've done to find purpose? Let us know. Stage 4, the reality shift. Suddenly your thoughts and actions diverge from everything you once believed. You forgive, not to free others, but to unchain yourself. You give, not for praise, but because generosity is your new nature. You let go, not in despair, but with the power of surrender. And then the impossible begins. Reality bends. Synchronicities spike. You feel your consciousness expanding beyond the boundaries of logic. You are not just healing, you are evolving. Stage 5, the hidden flame. On the surface, you may seem unchanged. You show up at work, smile at family gatherings, hang out with friends, play your part. But beneath the surface, you are becoming something sacred. Your spiritual awakening is a quiet ember, too precious to expose, too wild to suppress. Others sense the change. You no longer stir drama, you resolve it. You no longer reflect chaos, you radiate peace. And though you say little, your presence speaks volumes. Stage 6, the damaged goods illusion. Eventually, your transformation cannot remain hidden. And that's when the rejection begins. Friends and family pull away. Some become bitter, not because you've wronged them, but because you remind them of the changes they're not ready to make. They label you damaged, different, lost. But really, you've simply outgrown their boxes, and while their absence stings, it teaches you valuable lessons. Not everyone will walk this path with you. Solitude is not loneliness, it's sacred space, a temple where you meet your most authentic self. Stage 7, the Soulfire Tribe. As the noise fades, a new kind of connection begins. It feels awkward at first, like arriving at a camp where you know no one. But slowly, effortlessly, new souls arrive. Not the ones your old self would have chosen, but the ones your spirit called in. And these are not acquaintances. They are reflections of the new you. Raw, real, resonant. Together, you share stories, healing, laughter, and truth around a fire that never dies. You're no longer trying to fit in. You are finally seen. Stage 8, the source. Everything accelerates. Synchronicities become daily. Dreams blend with reality. Time warps. Meaning expands. You stand on the edge of something vast, both thrilling and terrifying. You realize that manifestation is no longer a theory. It's happening, fast. And now every thought, every intention, every heartbeat becomes a seed. Focus on what matters, because what you think can shape reality for better or worse. This is not the end of your journey, it is your launch point. Conclusion. When you emerge from the dark night of the soul, you do not return to who you were. That person is gone. In their place stands someone forged by pain, purified by truth, and elevated by grace. You've walked through the fire. You've stood alone in the ashes. And now you rise, not to impress the world, but to embody your truth. You're not defined by what you've lost, but by what you've gained: clarity, purpose, and a fearless spirit. You carry the wisdom not just to heal yourself, but to be a light for others. This was never just your journey, it was your initiation. And now, the real work begins. If this resonated, like, subscribe, and share how you're navigating your own journey in the comments. Let's grow together. Thanks for watching. If you want more on spiritual growth and transformation, check out other videos from the 8th house and hit that subscribe button. See you in the next one.